My name is Roseanne Davidson. My role at the Heritage Society is I'm the Executive Director and have been with the Society for 15 years. We operate the Heritage Village and the Heritage Shipyard. In my 15 years at the Heritage Society, we've survived flooding and the wildfires of 2016. In the 2013 flood, we experienced a significant amount of damage. Everything from our exhibits to large artifacts as well as small artifacts, and our machinery out on the site were severely damaged. And out of the 19 historical buildings that we have within the park, 13 of them received significant damage as well. Knowing that the waters were coming in, our team realized that we have to, I want to say the word kick in, to our disaster plan. And so we decided that we needed to move fast. And when we did, we moved all the artifacts to higher ground in our archives as well.
And about 7:30 that morning, I made my way to the classroom, the Presbyterian Church, where we also house our artifacts and our archives. So we moved everything up as high as we could get and emptied bottom drawers, but then we realized, oh, that might not be enough. And so I don't even know where the front end loader came from, but we started putting the boxes into the bucket of the loader and moving the archives out as much as we could.
And then, of course, we had other volunteers that came in with their boat and did very much the same thing, went around the park and took out the smaller artifacts and archives and moved them up into higher ground.
Our archives were all preserved because of that.
The challenge was, of course, that we didn't have a lot of time. We had to work very quickly, as well as manpower was limited, and it was just amazing, an amazing time. As part of our collection, the large industrial machinery and heritage buildings required unique large-scale restoration. From our collection being anywhere from small artifacts to large artifacts that were damaged within our site, we also have these beautiful historical buildings that were badly damaged. So out of the 1913 were badly damaged, and we knew that we needed to find specific knowledgeable professionals that could come in and help us.
We got a call from the local society to do some restoration work on specifically the Catholic mission at the time. And so we came up and did an initial assessment, used resistographs to test the wood, see what was rotten, what wasn't, and took took pictures that could create a 3D model of the building so that we could specify what needed to be repaired on it. Took all that information back to the shop and produced drawings and specifications so that we could plan the work. Eventually we came back to the site and dismantled the building entirely. Tagged every piece, put a number to it, and carefully stacked it and shipped back to Vancouver Island where we could repair it. After that, they reclaimed the site and put a new foundation in. We re-erected the building completely in the shop, repairing it from historical photographs and the information we had gathered, replacing the bottom rounds that were rotted out. Most of the log was salvageable, so we would cut the rotten pieces off and put scarf joints on and replace only the bits that were rotten, trying to save as much of the fabric of the building as we could. Once it was finished in our shop, we'd re-tag everything, put it on a truck, ship it back up here, and re-erect it as you see it now. There was historical pictures that we could use to recreate a lot of it, and I think it's pretty much exactly as it was from what we understand anyways.
The contractors are very, very careful, and we're always concerning and, including us in their work, and actually we learned a lot just from them as to how the structures breathe and what we need to use moving forward once they're restored, the maintenance of them. The large machinery that we had restored was, well, prior to flood they were in poor condition, but then during the flood they even deteriorated more. So we had quite a challenge of finding someone that knew how to restore the large artifacts.
Especially on this
tractor, all up inside the gears and the workings, was completely coated with bitumen. So we've taken all that off. We started with very rudimentary tools, literally sticks, and anything to just push off the chunks and to just brush away the accumulated silt from the flood as well. So we started with that, and then we've been literally working with dental tools. We've gone from really, really crass and heavy duty into a very detailed fine focus. We've done a top coat to protect it, to stop any of the rust that was happening.
We also realized that there was a need to have these done in a specific place, perhaps within the site. Many of them needed to be hoarded or enclosed.
The scaffolding works really well. We can access almost every part of the machine without actually stepping onto the machine itself. Yeah, I would say it's been about a 2-month process.
We were working towards opening the Heritage Village here for May of 2016. Our efforts were coming along very nicely from the flood. We were working well. And then, of course, we had to evacuate because of the fires in 2016. What we had encountered at that time was the fact that we wanted to open, and now we were delayed once we got back for an additional, well, now it's a year. Our new disaster plan will take into account the lessons learned. I realized what we had learned from this process was that we needed to find and be prepared to have storage for the artifacts should we have to deal with this again, and that in our city is a difficult thing. So currently we're working with our disaster plan. We have in the past had what I felt was a very good plan, but who knows what the forces of nature will bring. So we have actually updated our flood mitigation here at the park. So that has all been incorporated into our master plan. We do have, because of the fires of 2016, we do have obviously some work to do on that. We went through the process of actually working with the municipality to determine how we were going to flood mitigate the site. What we did was we had constant meetings with the municipality, but also determined that we need to raise the land, because we're in a very low-lying area, raise the land, and also some of our buildings have received foundations that are higher than they were before, but also at the level of what the flood mitigation plan is for this area. We also had some a berm built to accommodate any waters that could come in. In terms of the drainage on this land, we have created a storm pond, and this storm pond will collect any excess waters that will come onto the site, and from there it will be streamed out onto a pipe that the community has, or the municipality has just installed about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So we're set. We feel like we're very secure in terms of any future flooding here. The site itself did receive great impact from the flood in 2013. What we went through the fires of 2016 was, in my opinion, much greater. There was a great deal of stress for the staff, just having to leave the city and everything that they had behind. Even today, I still see evidence of how much stress they were really under. In the situations as we've been in through these disasters, we found that, personally anyway, at times that we were just feeling alone and didn't have a lot of help. And so when we knew that we could reach out to the Alberta Museums Association, it was comforting to know that we could just pick up the phone and ask them any question. If they didn't know, they'd definitely find the answers. But also just sending some of the team up to help us and encourage us more than anything to keep going and do the work that we were doing. So it's very important for museums to reach out and connect and be there for each other. So as we worked through the process of restoring and rebuilding our community or our village, we did find that this is truly a flood of opportunities. We have worked towards restoring the buildings, to restoring the artifacts, but also the fact that as we did that, it was, many of us, it's a passion, it's what we do. And so the community, when we actually open, is going to, I hope, will really, really benefit from it and really enjoy what we have here.